Hello everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, welcome to my channel. This is NNENNAHACKS, and I have an interesting tutorial ahead of us. This is going to be this sort of real life, live tutorial where I get to redo my personal site. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like right now. NNNAHACKS.io. Alright, so this is what it looks like right now. It's very, very basic, pretty simple, and I want it to be that way. However, I would like for it to be responsive. I do think that this could be a bit more sleek in how it responds to device widths, and you can see that here. As I decrease the width of the window, some things stand out to me. I see here that this top menu is kind of off to the side a little bit. The words are still super large, and this list of icons is like pretty large, and I don't see how somebody could find that flattering on a phone. So we could make all of this a little bit better. Also, as we can see right here, there's this button where the letters are exceeding the size of the button. I came across this framework recently called Bulma, and I'm interested in seeing how this is going to make the responsive CSS process simplistic and also sleek at the same time. We're going to be using some of these classes in order to modify the experience of my simple personal site. Okay, so first things first when utilizing a framework is that you need the CDN link. So I'm going to grab that right here. This link is going to be copied. I'm going to take this to my index.html file, and I'm just going to sneak it in right here into the head tags. I'm going to create a link tag, make sure that it's recognized as a style sheet, and then I'm going to provide the link that we just copied right here and close that tag. Okay. I'm going to forcefully center this because I don't want my site to be pulled off to the left. I think a good way to do this would be to give the body tag an ID of body. Body. And then let's make sure that it's recognized as a body tag. Okay, awesome. As we can see here, there's a section class of hero and then is primary. But that's for this one. I think down here would be is info. I'm going to assume. We're going to try this out and see what happens. All right. I'm going to make sure that this whole entire section is part of the hero. And then I'm going to give it the class is info, and then also create another div with the class hero body to indicate that this will all be part of the hero. And I'm going to close that. And now we're going to see what changes are made. Okay, so first of all, this font is like really large, but we can handle that later. So it adopted the sort of built-in info title hero, and I think we can add the title class, and we can also add the subtitle class for my site. And we also need to make sure that this remains a list that is inline block, that's straight across, like a horizontal, not necessarily taking up as much space that it is. I can just give the h1 tag title, and I'm going to give the h2 class subtitle. Okay, now it's like sort of changed just slightly, but not really. And then I'm going to make this navigation section inline. So let's just say hero body and UL, the unordered list, and for each list item, we want to make sure that it is displayed as an inline block. Right click, inspect, gives you access to the Chrome DevTools where you can see each element, and when you scroll through what is actually being rendered in the DOM in your browser, then you can hover over all of them and see like, oh, what are the dimensions, what's going on with the height and width and the font size, and you know, because sometimes there's a difference between what you are writing in your code and what shows up, and so that can tell you if you may have made any mistakes in referencing some parts of your code. I think that the font for the nav bar items could be bigger. Font size 20px. That's a little better. So here I just made the font overall smaller. I don't think it needs to be as like in your face and as overbearing as it was before. I think this is a lot nicer, and I'm going to show you how it's also a lot more responsive when you decrease the width of the window. It automatically starts to take up the full width of the screen, making the assumption that you're probably on some type of small tablet or a phone when you get to around this width. Now this is pretty awesome. I made the menu font smaller. The font of the different sections overall are smaller. I'm probably going to have to make this, feel free to reach out to me on these platforms, title smaller, as well as the icons of these different links. This button could be smaller as well. And I also, as you could see, the icons changed from icons that you can hover over to just a simple list of the technologies that I utilize in the centered list. Okay, so let's make this font smaller when we're dealing with the smaller device width. I'm gonna go over to the CSS. Over here, you see that I'm handling the screen width and how to modify the CSS from that point. And I'm going to reference the reach out to me title. We can see here in the footer that there's a reach me span. It says feel free to reach out to me. Let's target that. Reach me span, and we're gonna make that font size, let's go with a safe 18 pixels. I think that the icons could also be smaller. Currently they're at a font size of 50, which is pretty large. I think we can make that smaller. I'm going to reference them using the class social media connect and the unordered list, the list item, and then each anchor tag, meaning that they're links, in that div in the footer. I'm going right down to the media query, and I'm going to create a new section, a new selector, social media connect. That's unordered list, list item, anchor tags. And they're going to have a font size of, let's try and say 25 pixels, and let's see the kind of effect that'll have. So we're starting off at the regular width of the website, and when we decrease the window, we see that the icons get much smaller. I did add to the code this list of technologies, and so by default, this list of technologies is set to display none, and so that's why you don't see any words that say like the actual list of technologies. By default, this is set to display none, and by default, these technologies icons are displaying. The media query allows for the icons to be hidden and for only this list to be displayed, which is like pretty nice and less overwhelming. That can be seen here. Tech list, display inline, and then the technologies, which would reference all those icons, display none. And I think that's pretty much it for today. And thank you so much for watching. This is NNENNAHACKS. Make sure that you subscribe. I'm really active on Twitter. follow me and we can keep coding alongside each other. All right. See y'all next time.